Good morning. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm Kristen, and I am coming to you live from home. I am based out of Philadelphia, PA, and it is real hot today, so really hot and humid. And I'm a runner. I went for a run this morning, and I typically go in the mornings, and that's when I kind of set the stage for my day. It's my moving meditation, I call it. So this morning, I was thinking about how I wanted to theme my class and what we wanted to do today. And so I was going off of this idea that it's really like you build this heat. And in yoga, we call this heat the Agni. And it typically kind of, you set that fire in your core. So we're going to work a little bit of the core today and build up that heat. And then we're going to kind of try and find ways to cool it down and bring it back down to the mat towards the end. To start off, though, we're going to build the heat in our breath and through our body by closing the eyes and finding a comfortable seat. And roll those shoulders back and down. And try and connect the shoulder blades onto the back. And draw the spine nice and long as though you're trying to get the crown of the head to reach towards the sky. And then draw the back of the head back, trying to settle those earlobes right over the shoulders. And those shoulders are stacked over the hips. Remember, we're focusing on alignment today. From here, you're going to start to let that breath travel in and out of the body and bring it in and out through the nose. And really let it travel further each time you draw it in. And as you exhale, bring your breath really to the forefront. So think about it. Use your body to make this a mindful inhale and exhale. Every breath is a choice. And let it fulfill the body. As it starts to travel, you're going to bring that breath all the way into your belly. So you're going to feel your belly expand like a balloon. You can take your hands onto your belly so you can physically feel that and find that connection, or keep the hands palm facing down onto the knees. Whichever is more comfortable for you is fine by me. But right here, really inhale fully and exhale it. And inhaling, filling up, exhaling, releasing. Awesome. Coming back to neutral, and just take the head from side to side, lengthening out each side. So drawing the ear, let it fall all the way down towards the shoulder, and then slowly bring it up and over to the other side. Just going equal parts, trying to keep those shoulders anchored back and down. So your shoulders aren't coming up to your ears. They are back and down. Your ears are reaching for your shoulders. And then bring it all the way back to center. And from here, you're going to draw the chin down to the chest. So glue it down and draw those shoulders back. Awesome. Inhale, bring that all the way back up. Perfect. So we're going to do a little bit of a seated cat-cow. Inhaling, opening, and exhaling, rounding the spine. Make it dramatic, guys. So like really over-exaggerate. Inhaling, opening, and exhaling, bringing it around. Inhaling up, exhaling around. Inhaling, bringing that all the way back up. Nice work. So from here, you're going to take your right hand, plug it down onto the mat. Left arm comes all the way up. Again, alignment, right? So as this left arm reaches all the way up, I want you to focus on this left shoulder. Plug that back and down. Exhale, take it over. Keep your left sit bone, which is your hip. I'll refer to it as a sit bone. Keep it heavy. So imagine you have like a cinder block on it. There's a nice heavy weight on that left hip. Keeping it plugged into the mat as you lengthen. And inhale, bring it all the way up. Left hand comes down, right arm comes up. Reach and extend through that hand. Plug that shoulder down. So you'll notice the shoulder comes away from the ear. Exhale, drop it over. Right sit bone is nice and anchored. Remember, it's heavy into the mat. Lengthening that side body. Really use your breath. And inhale, coming all the way back up. Nice work. You're going to switch your legs out. So whichever leg was in front or behind or on top or on bottom is going to go the opposite direction. And then from here, you're going to take your hands, bring them out and in front of you like high five hands. Like, we're not going to be able to high five people anymore, are we? So plug those shoulders back, Give an imaginary high five to everybody. Plug your hands down into the mat. They're going to anchor down right where they land. Your biceps are framing your rib cage, so they're not all the way out here. You're not draping yourself forward. You're keeping this nice and engaged. Roll those shoulders back. Now, hinge at the hips and bend at the elbows. As you come down, if you can get nice and low, you can bend the elbows and come down onto forearms. If that's comfortable, take it wherever you want, but I want those biceps framing the rib cage. I don't want your arms walking nice and long. You're gonna keep it connected here. So we're gonna start to build that Agni or fire right through the hips here. And inhale, bring that all the way up. Nice big breath in, and exhale, twist it over to the right. Once you're twisted, inhale and lengthen the spine, and exhale, twist a little further. Continue that pattern of inhaling, lengthening, and exhaling, twisting. Next inhale, come back to center. Exhale fully. Inhale, lengthen and twist. Exhale, twist a little further, and you follow that pattern. Inhale is lengthening, exhaling is twisting. And inhaling all the way back to center. Nice work. Bring yourself around, settle down into a child's pose. So walk those knees nice and wide, and the toes are gonna come together. And then you're gonna walk your hands out on the mat. Again, think about those high five hands, and think about your biceps framing your rib cage. Now, as you come forward, they're going to start to frame the ears, but you wanna keep those arms plugged back, so it's not like a reaching forward and draping. I don't like that whole idea, because then you lose your shoulders. So keeping it nice and engaged, walking those hands out, settling down. You'll notice my elbows are up off of the mat. You want to keep those elbows away from the mat. Keep your shoulder blades working onto the back. And then you're going to let the forehead rest down onto the mat. As the forehead rests, soften the breath, soften the face, but keep those palms working into the mat so that those shoulders are onto the back. This is going to release through the collarbone, through that whole sternum area, which ultimately helps to open up your heart space. We open up our heart space and we are ready to receive. It's really hard to receive stuff. We're very good at giving, and it's not so easy to take it back in. So one more full breath in your child's pose here. And then you're going to press up onto those hands and knees. And you'll find yourself into a table pose. So your table is going to look much like a table, but I want you to think about your alignment here, where your wrist and your shoulders are going to line up. So you'll notice that when you plunk down, wrist and shoulder are going to be one right over the other. Hip and knee are going to be lined up too. So you're going to have your hips right over your knees, curl your toes into the mat. Inhale, bring your gaze up, and exhale, round the spine, draw the chin into the chest, and work it back around. Inhaling up, exhaling around. Continue with your breath. With that next exhale, bring yourself back to a flat back, nice and engaged back here. And then you're going to lift and send it back into a downward facing dog. So walk yourself around, find your position, see what distance you need. You're going to bend one knee, then bend the other. Really just finding a space here. And then extend both heels back and behind you, lengthening through this back plane of the body. Keeping those hands anchored into the mat, bring your gaze to the imaginary line that lives right between those thumbs. Focus on your breath. And then lower onto those hands and knees and bring yourself around. You're going to find yourself seated onto the mat. So remember that abs, and I told you the fire comes in your core. We're going to work your core before we start getting into some flow stuff. While we still have the energy, we're going to come into this. So I'm going to ask you to find yourself into a comfortable seat. Now, this is going to be where I am. So you'll notice that my heels are into the mat. My toes are looking back. My knees are bent. And I'm going to sit in this kind of position where think about your back like a sheet of plywood, right? So it's not rounded. We're not coming all the way back, but you're not doing that Pilates C. I don't want to see that for this. I want those shoulders back and the back to be nice and flat. So from here, you're going to take your hands. There's all sorts of different modifications, and I'm going to ask you to listen to your body and take what your body needs. So I'm going to give you level 1, hands on knees. That's it. You can keep your hands on your legs. You can keep your hands back behind the hamstrings as you start to move through. That's fine. Option 2 is to have one hand on and one hand off as we go through as well. So those are 2 different modifications that you can do. Another modification is to have your hands down onto the mat. Your fingers can point towards the body if you want a little bit more opening in the front, or they can pop away. It's whatever you're comfortable with. So those are your modifications. Take them if you want. Otherwise, I'm going to lead you through. So coming in, you're going to take your hands out to the side. Again, take a modification if you need it. And then you're going to bring those feet all the way up, and you're going to rest right in this boat pose. So in this posture, think about your toes. They're still working. And then you can start to extend to wherever your body allows. If you start to feel a lot of pain in this low back, you can take your hands down, or you lower or raise those legs. So play with it. It's your body. So if you're going to go into this full pose, you're going to bring yourself all the way out and then take it in. Hug it in. This is an opportunity for rest, so you can put the heels down, the hands down, whatever works, or you can keep it up and just really work it. So from here, inhale, bring it out. Exhale, all the way up. Inhale out. Exhale in. Find that breath. You're building the fire. One more. And back in, rest it down. Nice work. Send those legs out nice and long. Inhale the arms all the way up. Exhale, forward fold, reaching down for those toes. Keep the shoulders working back. So they're not going down like this, but you're keeping it up and open through that back. Release through the low back, and then inhale and bring it back up. You're going to take it right back in. And this time we're going to add in some revolved movement. So we're going to open out to the sides and go from side to side. Now I'm going to shift so that I'm looking towards you so that we can kind of follow directions on the sides. Again, you can keep a hand down during this. You can keep a hand on the opposite leg. Whatever works for you is fine with me. Lifting your way up, starting off in that boat, and you're going to open out. Right arm open. Look behind you. Inhale it back to center. Left arm open. Center. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Keep going. You can drop it back. You can add in legs, extending those legs, bringing them back in. Keep those shoulders working back. One more, both sides. And back to center. Nice work. Draw the soles of the feet together. Let those knees drop down to the side. Work the shoulders back and exhale, hinge forward slightly. I want to keep you, again, shoulders working back. Keep this fire building in the core. Awesome. Inhale, bring that all the way up. Now you're going to take those feet underneath and send yourself back to a downward facing dog. Pedal through those feet. Exhaling, both heels back. And inhale. You're going to walk or step or jump your feet up to your hands. And exhale, fold. Let the top of the head really reach down towards the mat. And then inhale and sweep it all the way up and overhead. Exhale, hands come to the side. Nice work. So you're going to inhale, sweep it all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, take it halfway. Nice long straight spine here. Exhale, drop it down. Nice work. Both feet are going to go back, down dog. Pull forward, high plank. Again, fire in that core. Keep your belly working. Work your heels back, your hands down. Nice job. You're going to open up this plank. Open it up to one side, whichever side works. Now, this is a full side plank. You can lower that bottom knee if you want a modification. You want a little bit more ease here, take that. If you want to go into it, you're going to bring yourself all the way up. Really use that belly. Exhale, switch it down. Come back to a high plank. I know. Over to the other side. Again, lower that knee. If you want to take it, go for it. Finding your breath. Exhale, back to plank, and then back to a dog. Check in with your breath. All right, pull forward again, high plank. Awesome. Exhale, lower it down. Come on to the belly, top of the feet are now flat into the mat. Your elbows are squeezing your rib cage. Your shoulders are coming away from your ears, and then you're gonna inhale and bring it up. And exhale, drop it back down. Awesome. Now, with your next inhale, you're going to lift those feet up off of the mat and try and draw your hands up off of the mat. So you're flying here, squeezing, using your back, breathing through. Exhale, lower it down. Awesome. Curl the toes in, send it back, down dog. Very nice work. All right, from here, you're going to take that left leg, send it back and behind you. You're going to bring it in between the hands for a lunge. Coming straight up into your lunge, hands come onto the hips, elbows reach for each other on the back. You're going to be nice and active in that back leg. And inhale, open up to the sky. Beautiful, finding your breath. And exhale, take those hands down, frame this front foot. Now you're going to send the leg all the way back. Bring it all the way back and up. Tuck it in towards the belly. Back and out. Again to the belly. We're doing 3. One more. And then let the leg land. Coming back to center in your down dog. You're going to take that right leg, send it back and behind you. Sweep it in between the hands, finding your lunge. Thinking about your alignment. Your knee is over the ankle. It's not going past the ankle. Walking right up, hands onto hips. Shoulders are back and down. Your gaze is nice and long. Really think about bringing breath into that left hip. And take the arms up. Settle in to your pose with your breath. Focus. Awesome. Exhale, take the hands down, framing this foot. Now again, you're going to go over, right leg, send it all the way back and up. Reach it in, tuck the knee in, and back, in, and out. Last one, in, and out. Land it down, nice job. Find this nice down dog, and then walk it forward, back into that high plank, and lower onto the knees. Nice work. So we're going to come into a camel pose. So your camel pose, I'm going to show you on the side. You take this to wherever works for you. You don't have to go fully into it. But your camel, for me, I'm going to ask you to curl your toes into the mat. With your feet flat down, you don't get as much alignment. And since I'm not there to personally see you and tell what we're doing, this just makes me feel a little bit safer, okay? Now, you're going to roll those shoulders onto the back so that everything is nice and stacked. And you're going to take your palms facing the front of the room. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to hate me. I told you, fire in the belly. You're going to roll those shoulders back, and you're going to just start to dip. You're not curling the shoulders back yet. You're not doing a full opening. You're dropping back and inhaling and pulling it back up. Now, if you need to, take a hand onto your belly because I want you to use your core as you're doing this. Dipping back, really pull your belly button in towards your spine so you should feel a nice engagement and bring it back up. Okay, one more, dropping it back. Belly, 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 and back up. Now, you've used your belly to get yourself back into this. When you go into your cobra, it's got a nice back bend. It's a heart opener, but I want you to use your belly to get yourself out. So inhaling and walk those hands onto the back of the body, right at the small of the back. If you had pockets, that's where your hands would go, kind of deal. Reach those elbows back. Inhale deeply and exhale. Drop it back. Now, as you're here, you're using your belly. So squeeze your belly. And then inhale, use your belly to draw yourself up, and your head and your neck are the last things to come up. Nice. So it kind of makes it a little bit different. It's a little bit of that heart opener, but it's not as drapey. It's not as soft, okay? So we're really using our muscular energy here. Now, you have options. You can keep hands right on the small of the back. You can walk hands down lower, or you can walk hands down to the heels as you drop back. It's your choice. Go where you think is best for your body. Inhaling fully and exhaling, dropping it back. Open up. Once you're back, you can let the head release back further. Squeeze the belly, guys. And then inhale, use that belly, and come all the way back up. So it should be hard for you to talk. It's hard for me to talk when I'm coming back up because I'm really using that belly. That's what you're looking for. And then from here, take those hands down, send it right back to a down dog. Again, we're going to neutralize that spine because that's a lot of work on your spine. Just pedal through those feet. Extend through the heels. Very nice. Focus on your breath. And then inhale and walk those feet up to the hands. And exhale, fold. Releasing through the top of the head. And inhale, sweep it all the way up. Coming back to neutral. Awesome. So I'm going to have you come stand nice and wide on your mat. Take a quick peek down at your feet. The outside edges of your feet are going to be lined up so that they're parallel with the outside edges of your mat or whatever it is you're standing on. I just want those outside edges of the feet to be nice and parallel with you here. So from here, you're going to draw the inside edges of your feet. I know it sounds silly, but really think about activating the inside edges. So the inside of your heel, rotate that inward. You're not physically moving the foot, but you're drawing that in. What you're going to feel is this isometric drawing of the inner thighs, of the inside of the legs. That's what I want you to maintain. Take those hands onto your hips, and then you're going to exhale, hinge forward. Keep drawing those legs in. Nice. And walk the hands down to the mat or a pillow, whatever you have around you that's comfortable. As you're here, keep working those heels inward. You're isometrically drawing everything to the inside. Awesome. As you do this, walk those hands so that they're flat onto the mat. Bend the elbows if you get down nice and low. If you're low enough, I'd like for you to try and get the top of the head down onto the mat. So this takes a little bit of movement. So maybe you're here and then you say, oh, you know what, I have a little bit more room. I'm going to start to walk my legs a little wider. Walk your way down, top of the head to the mat or a pillow. And if you don't get there, that's fine. Finding breath. And if you're there and you're comfortable, you're going to walk those hands through the legs back and behind you. That may not be your thing. It very well may. Go where works for you. Coming back to that center here, plugging those hands down. Heel toe, walk the feet in. You're going to still have them into a nice wide position as you bring yourself back up. Awesome. Now I'm going to have you take your left toes, point them away from the mat. Back foot's going to stay right where it is, so it's parallel with the back of the mat, and drop it out into a warrior. Roll those shoulders onto the back. Think about your belly here. Really utilize the core. Focus on the breath. So it's deep inhale and a deep exhale. Yes, you're using that core. Okay, now you're going to bring it back to center. Shift those feet, sink in the other direction. Really think about using the belly. Firing up. Now your quads are getting fired up, but focus on that. Coming back to center, point those toes forward again. Now you're gonna come into a variation of triangle pose. So you're gonna point those left toes again. If you wanna come into triangle in a traditional triangle, you're going to keep this leg nice and straight. You can do a little micro bend in that foot or in that knee if you want. If not, take a bent knee triangle. It's your practice. Do what works for you. Extend those arms out nice and long. Bring your gaze out over that left hand, and you're gonna shift that right hip back as you reach forward and bring it down. So this is traditional triangle with the front straight leg. You can bend that knee, so you have a bent knee triangle too. Whatever works for you is fine. If you're in traditional triangle, take a quick peek down at the ball of that left foot and anchor it deeper into the mat. Open up, try and get your body as nice and open as possible. Fantastic. Inhale, bring it all the way up, using those core muscles, switching it around. Now, right foot, toes point away, left hip pops back, reach it down. You can go into your traditional triangle or take that bent knee. It's up to you. Wherever you are is fine with me. Focus on the ball of the foot if you're in this traditional one. Lengthen and extend the body. Focus on that breath. Awesome. Then you're going to use your legs, get nice and active, engage that core, bring it all the way back up, toes come together. Inhale and walk or step or jump yourself back in. Inhale, sweep it all the way up. Exhale. Draw it down, forward fold. In your fold here, bend the legs. So you're going to straighten one leg while you bend the opposite, really get into those hamstrings. And then you're going to walk those feet out a little bit deeper and come into a squat. So your squat, your heels can be down into the mat or they can be up. If your heels don't place down into the mat comfortably, don't worry about it. That's kind of a practice thing. If they do get down, great. If it's uncomfortable, you can grab a pillow or roll up a blanket and put it under the heels for a little bit more support. Once you're here, you're going to bring your elbows to the inside of your legs. So it's almost like you're trying to make your shoulders and your knees touch. Bring your palms at heart center. Press your legs into your arms and your arms back into your legs. So you again have this isometric pressure going on here. You're using your body to set the stage and really kind of align it yourself. Focusing on that breath and then exhaling and releasing, bringing yourself down for a seat. From your seat, extend the legs nice and long and inhale the arms up straight and exhale, take it down. Hands reach down towards the toes. They don't have to get to the toes, but wherever they can get comfortably, okay? But bring them down so that they're not floating out in space. Wherever they are, think about plugging that femur. So your whole femur bone, plug it into that hip socket a little bit. So kind of shimmy it back. Awesome. And then from here, you're going to keep your left hand down. You're going to open up your right arm back and behind you. And exhale, bring the hand back. Inhale, open up the other side. And exhale, bring it back down. Nice work. So from here, you're going to take those legs in. Well, keep one leg out, I'm sorry. So take your left leg in. Keep your right leg out. Walk it down, reaching for that foot. Walking it as close to the mat as you can go. Now, I want you to kind of fold, but keep your shoulders back, if that makes sense. So you're going to hinge as deeply as you can go without collapsing. So a simple little trick is just to keep your gaze forward. Keep your gaze looking beyond your toes, not down at the mat. Awesome. Really settle in. This is going to give you a nice stretch along the back and along the obliques. And remember, we fired up the back and we fired up the belly. So we want to soften that stuff and cool it back down. And then inhaling and walking it up, and then switch it out. On the other side here. So left leg's out, right leg's in. Inhaling those arms all the way up and bringing them down. Awesome. Again, same thing. You're going to soften as much as you can without collapsing those shoulders. So bringing your gaze beyond your foot is totally fine. That's your little cheat sheet. And inhaling and bringing that all the way up. Okay, so I have one more posture for you, and this one is called Agni. So you're going to take your legs and stack them like firewood. One leg on top of the other. And then you're going to draw your hands in at heart center. You're going to close your eyes. You're going to find yourself coming into your final posture through this seated posture, through this fiery posture. Really focusing on your breath. And then exhaling, you can bring it forward as you hinge, opening the eyes. I invite you to take a few moments and lie on your mat for a traditional Shavasana, if you will. We have run out of our time. I got a little overexcited about the fiery postures. So if you have a few minutes, I invite you to take the time and lie down flat on the back. If you don't, have a wonderful day.